2025 is the year of the no buy, and I am jumping on the bandwagon. Hello, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name's Chan, and I am in fact going on a no-buy journey in 2025. Like many YouTubers, it seems, 2024 was a pretty transformative year for me. It has kind of opened my eyes to a lot of things in my own life, and it has really made me want to change a lot of my behaviors, especially as they pertain to money. So I am hoping in this video to walk you through why I'm going on this no-buy journey, and then tell you about the pretty explicit and detailed rules that I am enacting for this no-buy. Hopefully by doing so, you can understand why I'm doing this, and this will serve as kind of like the guidepost for videos coming forth in the new year. I'm going to be doing check-ins every month. I'm going to be doing favorites videos, empties videos about all of the things that I like currently own and have, and we can see how life goes when you just use the things that you already have, I guess. So where to begin? I guess we can start in 2024 because I feel like 2024 was a real turning point for me. It was one of the most tumultuous years that I think I've ever had, but it really opened my eyes to the fact that I was not living my life in a way that I liked. 2020 to 2024 for me, I really felt like it was a bit of a fugue state. I was working from home kind of due to the pandemic, like a lot of us were. With working from home came a lot of monotony, and the only way that I knew how to break that up and get dopamine was buying things. I spent so much time working both on YouTube and in my corporate 9-to-5 job. The only thing that I was doing with the money that I was making, besides like paying for, living expenses, was spending money on material goods, whether it was clothes, makeup, hair care, skincare, perfume, home decor. Love material things. I don't actually expect that to change very much over the course of this next year, but I was spending so indiscriminately on things that I wasn't really able to fully appreciate the things that I was buying. And obviously that is a privilege to be able to like kind of buy whatever you want and buy indiscriminately, but if you can't appreciate the things that you have, I think no matter what income level you're at, that's not good for your contentment in life or your general psychology. At least it hasn't been for me. I think two things kind of opened my eyes to the problems, I guess, of my life. One was social media, and two were just my own life circumstances. So with social media, I think that, with the rise of TikTok, at least for me, I spend so much time scrolling TikTok. It seems like everything that I come across is kind of telling me that my own life isn't good enough, that my hair isn't shiny enough, my skin is never clear enough, the makeup that I use isn't good enough, my clothes aren't cool enough, my home isn't beautiful and magazine worthy enough. I think it's good that it sounds silly when we say it out loud, but it really has been impacting me over the past few years. And of course, like marketing has existed forever. I'm not saying that it hasn't, but I really think for me, just spending so much of my free time on social media instead of like hanging out with friends or like getting out of the house or literally anything else of value, hobbies, it just caused me to shop. It caused me to kind of ignore the problems that I was having in my life and just trying to put band-aids on it, right? That kind of feeds into number two, like the other thing that really kind of opened my eyes, which was my own life circumstances. So if you've been following me for any length of time, or if you're new here, I'll let you know, 2024, I was embarking on a journey to become a mother. Unfortunately, couldn't really do that the traditional way, so I had to do IVF with my husband. I got pregnant, I had a miscarriage, and that really wrecked me. I mean, I think it wrecks a lot of people. I'm grateful for the, I don't want to say lesson that was, but pregnancy itself was really hard on me. After that experience, feeling like myself again, feeling like my body was my own again, it really just opened my eyes to the fact that I wasn't living right. And I took that opportunity to start treating my body with respect. I lost 40 pounds and I started to enact some changes in my life. And it kind of just showed me that change is possible, that if there's something about your life that you don't like, you can change it. And that the cognitive dissonance I was experiencing between my values and how I was living my life could be remedied. And it was probably good if it would be remedied, right? So my parents always, told me growing up that like eating healthy and exercising and things like that were important. And I wasn't living with my values for a long time. I was eating fast food pretty much for every meal. I was not exercising. I was bedrotting multiple days in a row. My mental health was pretty bad as well. And some of the mental health, like I couldn't help, right? Like you can't help when your cat dies or when you have a, miscarriage, but I really just was not taking care of myself. Not only did it bother me because I wasn't feeling good, right, in that physical state, but it was also bothering me because one of my values is treating myself with respect and exercising and eating well. It was something that was making me anxious actually to not do, but I just didn't do it because the inertia was there and I just, it just felt like too much. Whenever I did finally attack that, the harmony in my brain went crazy, like in a good way. I felt so good being able to like do something for myself, be able to live in accordance with my values, if that makes sense. This isn't like a you should go out and lose weight sort of thing. I personally needed that, and it made me feel like I was in charge of my own life again to an extent. Yeah, having a lot of your power stripped from you, feeling completely out of control and gaining some semblance of control back is very empowering. I think that also kind of fed into my desire to take control of this area of my life, the spending. So I feel like there are values that I have that are still not in alignment with my actions. Like, I want a really clean home. That is something that I have been raised to value. It's something that I value for myself, but I don't spend a lot of time cleaning my house. I would rather sit in bed and scroll social media or buy things for my house, like buy decor. It's so much more fun to buy decor than it is to actually be a good steward of your home and like clean your home, right? I also want to be a really grateful and content person, but I'm not acting like a grateful and content person when I am continuing to buy things and add them to my home. Why can't I be appreciative of the things that I already own? Because I have more than enough in pretty much every conceivable category that you could own objects in, right? I want to travel. That is something that has been big on my mind. In my 20s, part of my 20s, I didn't have enough money really to travel. And then for part of my 20s, I just didn't value that as much. There were other things that I valued, like spending money on belongings or spending money towards like IVF and things like that. I want to travel. Like, I want to go places. I want to spend time with the people that I love, friends, family, etc. But I can't do that, and I couldn't do that if I'm spending money on stupid shit, frankly. And I'm really lucky to be able to say that my spending has not turned into a lot of like consumer or credit card debt, but I feel like it could turn in that direction. I don't think that compulsive spending is good if it is hurting you psychologically or financially or in any aspect of your life. I think there are so many valid reasons to go on a no-buy journey. That is something that I do want to state, is that like whatever your reason for going on a no-buy is, it's valid. So for me, again, the main reasons are that I want to save money for travel, I want to be more content with my life, and I want to make shopping not my personality, right? Or that I want my personality to be born of the hobbies that I do rather than the money that I spend. I think that's kind of the gist of it, but let's talk about my no-buy rules. I had to get pretty extreme with them, frankly, because I spend money in pretty much every conceivable category. There's one category that is going to be missing, but we'll get there. First, makeup. I love makeup. I love buying it. Lately, I have been very content with my decluttered selection of makeup. I still have like enough objects and enough beauty products in this particular category to where I have options. I don't feel stifled, but I'm not going to be buying makeup this year. I can repurchase products that I own one of if I run out of them. So right now I have one foundation, and if I run out of that foundation, I can purchase one of a similar price or the same exact product. Same with things like mascara and concealer. I only have one of those items, and I probably will use up a mascara in the next like 3 or 4 months. I can go and purchase a mascara. Again, important though, it needs to be of the same price or less. I'm not going to take this opportunity to like ball out and get something super bougie in a category where I normally buy drugstore. Next up is a category that is more challenging for me, especially lately, and that is skincare. I think it's been especially challenging because winter time has been brutal to my skin. It is so cold and so dry here in Central Texas. So I have been struggling with my skin, and I have just wanted to slather the creams and the potions on. In this category, I'm going to be pretty ruthless, and I'm only going to allow myself to replenish products that I have used up in certain categories. So let's get a little bit more specific here. So let's say I have 3 different glycolic acid products, all kind of different. Like one's a mask, one's a serum, one's something else. If I use up one of those products, it's gone. I can only have like one glycolic product at a time, right? I can only have like one hydrating serum. It doesn't matter if I run out of like one of my 2 hydrating serums. I'm not gonna go out and repurchase that one. We're gonna have one product in each category. I know, kind of bold. I think it's gonna take me a while to use up a lot of the stuff that I already have. I don't feel like I have an excessive skincare collection, but it is probably a little bit bigger than it needs to be, and I'm not going to go out and try a bunch of new products. Oh, and again, if I want to, buy something in a product category that I've run out of, it's gonna be the same price or less. Next category is skin treatments, and this is going to be like any in-office treatments like lasers or Botox. I say that as if I regularly get either of these. I did get Botox cosmetically for the first time back last year around my birthday before going on a trip, and honestly, 10 out of 10 would do again, but it is so expensive, and I just don't really need to be spending my money on that this year. As much as I love a good smooth forehead, I think that come summertime with the good enough moisturizer, I think I'll be just fine. Next up, this is kind of crazy and sort of embarrassing to have this on my list, but household items such as detergent or sprays, like disinfecting kind of sprays, like countertop sprays, dish soaps. I have a problem. Like, I love different scented products, and I like to buy the different Mrs. Meyer scents for the different seasons. And if I don't use it up, I will save it for, the next season that comes around. Like if it's the Christmas spray this year, I will put it away after Christmas and get it out for the next Christmas. We're not doing that anymore. It's just stupid. Like, I understand the novelty is fun, and if it strikes your fancy and it makes you happy, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. But for me, I don't need to be doing that. Yeah, I don't need to be doing that anymore. So I'll just be using up the cleaning products I have, and I'll be saving money by doing so. So I can't believe I had to put that on this list. To get honest with myself about the things that I spend money on, because that's like the whole point of this, right? Books. This is an interesting category for me because on the one hand, my full-time job, if you will, is my other YouTube channel where I review and talk about books. So books are a business expense. They are something that I need for my job. And so I'm allowing myself to buy books for videos that I have planned. But what I find every once in a while when I get bored or when I am feeling impulsive or compulsive, when I'm shopping for books for videos, I'll let a couple of books slip into my stack that are not for videos. They're just books that sound good or that I'm interested in. And honestly, I don't need to be doing that. I already have enough books as it is that are unread and not planned for videos and can utilize my library. So I will not be buying any fun books, if you will. Next is a category that I'm sad that I have gotten pulled into, and it's hair care. I used to have a very, I want to say strict routine, but I wasn't super fancy with the products I was using. But then I started watching Abby Young's YouTube videos and she convinced me that I needed a ton of different hair products. And to be fair, her product recommendations have been phenomenal. Like, she knows what the hell she's talking about, but I don't really need all of the products that she has talked about, right? So I'm gonna allow myself to replenish products that I know that I need, like shampoo and conditioner, and the 3 like accessory products that I need for my hair to look like this, which are my texturizing spray, a leave-in conditioner for when I blow dry my hair, and then a regular hairspray for when it's really humid outside. I don't need any bond repair treatments at the moment. I don't need anything fancy, and I'm going to use up the ones that I have, but I'm not going to be repurchasing any of those. Next up is haircuts and color. I used to not hardly ever get my hair cut or colored, but last year when I was going through my body transformation, my weight loss journey, I really wanted to feel pretty, experimenting with my hair. So I was getting highlights and I got my hair cut a few times. This year, I am only going to allow myself to get my hair cut and colored once. That is only if I feel like I really need it. We ended up doing a haircut and color in very late December. So my hair is still pretty fresh, but if my highlights that are still existing in my hair start looking incredibly brassy or my ends look really shitty, I'm fine with getting one haircut and one color treatment this year, but I'm not gonna go overboard or experiment with my hair this year. Next is the home decor category. I am not gonna purchase any home decor. I feel like this one's pretty easy. Maybe not easy for me because I love buying home decor, but Hayden and I, my husband and I, are trying to do some kind of DIY projects around the house, or at least we're trying to save for some of those. Those projects, if you're curious, include replacing the flooring in our entire house. We have carpet in a lot of rooms in our home. In a household with 6 pets, someone who has really severe pet dander allergies, I would love to have floors that don't harbor all of that. So I would rather save my money for that and save my money to redo our living room furniture setup. I need to not buy home decor pieces. I don't need tchotchkes. Let's save for like the big things that are important to us. Next up, this is arguably harder than just regular decor for me. It's holiday stuff. I love holidays. I love decorating for them. This year though, I will say I got a little overwhelmed with the amount of holiday decor that I have. I didn't really purchase anything new for Halloween, and I purchased a few new things for Christmas, but I definitely don't need anything this year. So I won't be purchasing any holiday decor. Next is coffee shops, like getting myself a chai latte and a little pastry when I'm out and about. I'm just gonna do that once a month. It'll be a challenge for me, but I think having, you know, a way to still be able to like try out new places and still have fun, you know, experientially, I think is important. So once a month I could get a chai latte, but I'm not gonna be doing that multiple times a month. Next is fast food, which I know for some people, it's like, of course I would just cut that out like on a no-way journey. I love fast food. It is one of the joys of my life. And also my husband and I don't really frequent restaurants. We don't do food delivery service. That's not available to us. We don't really do takeout or anything like that. And on the days where we just like can't be bothered to cook dinner or we don't have anything to cook for dinner, we go get fast food, okay? Trying to make a more concerted effort to not do that as often. So we will only be eating fast food again once a week, which probably sounds crazy to a lot of people. I know that, but for us, like that is such a cutting back, but still allows for a little bit of freedom because my husband has been working crazy hours lately and sometimes he doesn't want to cook. He's the one that cooks us dinner. So I think that we can keep a little fast food in the budget. Next category is activewear. I love activewear. I feel like I've said that about every category, but like that is why I made all these categories, because I love buying things in so many different categories. For activewear, category that I am actually willing to spend money on. As I've said, I've lost 40 pounds and I'm actually still not done. I'd like to lose 50 pounds. Losing 50 pounds has an impact on your body and how clothes fit. And I've tried to continue to wear the activewear that I currently have, but my leggings have started to slip down when I'm exercising. And that's just not fun for me. I think that you deserve clothes that fit you, or where you are in your life, whether all of your clothes are too small or too big, you deserve clothes that fit. So I am going to allow myself to buy a couple of different activewear sets that I have set a budget aside for. I'm not going to do that like immediately. I can still make some of my clothing clothing work. I do need to kind of like comb through what I've currently got, but if I need to buy a couple of like activewear sets, that's absolutely okay. And kind of a corollary to that and or like something that goes along with that is just clothes in general. And I know that for a lot of people, a no by Journey means no clothes because clothes are a tough spending category. Transparently, for the past decade, my body has fluctuated so much, mostly in sort of like an upward direction, like me gaining weight over the past decade, that I really have not spent a lot of money investing in my wardrobe. When I really reflect on how I've been spending money on clothes over the past 10 years, it's really just for like occasion wear or for trips. Like I'll buy outfits for trips, which I'm sure y'all have noticed, but I'm not buying a lot of clothes in my everyday. So clothing has not been a tough category for me. It's not something I do impulsively or compulsively, which is why I feel comfortable buying clothes during my no buy. And also I kind of need to buy clothes because my clothes don't fit. I have set a rather generous budget aside for myself for the year. It's one number, and my stipulation for clothing is that I am not allowed to spend any money on clothes if I don't have the money already set aside. I also kind of want to go on a clothing no buy for February and March. I have purchased a decent amount of clothing in the latter part of December and the beginning part of January. I needed some jeans. I needed a couple of pieces so I could like actually have fun with my family and with my husband, like going to dinners and things like that. I can't tell you honestly how many times in the past I've been stressed because I don't have clothes I can wear to dinners. I only have sweatpants. So buying clothes was a priority for me, but I feel like I have replenished my wardrobe enough at this point to where I'm good for now. I want to kind of reset again some of my buying behaviors. So for February and March, I'm not going to be buying any clothes, and I'll talk about that more going forward, but I will still be purchasing clothes this year, and I will be talking about the clothes that I'm purchasing. I've been doing a lot of secondhand purchasing actually, and I'll talk about that more in a different video, but actually my whole outfit today, my jeans and my shirt are both secondhand, but I'm being a lot more mindful with my clothing purchases than I have been in the past, and kind of exciting to be able to like have clothes that I like. So yeah, that's not part of my no buy. I will be buying clothing, but moving on, shall we? Camera equipment. I love technology. I love buying lenses for cameras. I love cameras in general. I don't need to buy any of that this year. No matter if something really exciting and tempting comes out, we're not doing it. The only exception here is if I need to like replace a cord or buy some new SD cards for my camera, that's fine, but we're not going to be buying any new like fun camera equipment. This one's tough. And when I really reflect, honestly, it kind of makes me sad. Jewelry and fragrance has been my go-to expensive spending category. I don't usually spend a ton on like individual makeup products, but like I love jewelry and I love fragrance. And the reason that I spent so much money in those categories in the past is because I didn't like my body. I didn't want to clothe my body. What always fits, no matter your size? Jewelry, usually, and fragrance. So jewelry, I'm not going to be buying any more of, which is tough for me. I do love jewelry. I love sparkly things. I got enough sparkly things at the moment. I don't need to get any more. My exception here, my only exception here is I am allowed to get jewelry repaired because a lot of my jewelry actually is starting to fit differently. Mostly my rings are all very slidey at the moment just because I've lost weight and so my rings are a little bit large. I don't think I'm going to do that until the summertime though. It's cold right now and your fingers are a little smaller when it's cold, so I'm gonna see how things fit in the summer, and if there's anything that's really still slipping off of me, I might go ahead and get some things resized. Additionally, I also have some charms I want to add to a necklace, like get soldered on. I already have the charms, I already have the necklace, so I might get that done at some point this year, but I'm not going to be buying any new pieces. Fragrance and candles, just no, I'm not going to be buying anything in this category. We're not replenishing. We're not doing anything. We're going to be using up fragrances and candles this year. And then lastly, I kind of have like a catch-all category called miscellaneous items because inevitably there are going to be things that I want or I feel like I need, but I don't really know how to categorize them. Most of these tend to be kind of home things. For example, I ended up purchasing a clothing drying rack for some of the new clothes I bought. Most of them are natural materials and can't be dried in a dryer. That was kind of tough for me. I was like, is this like going against my no buy to purchase this? So my rule for miscellaneous items is one, I'm going to put things on a wish list for a week to see if it's something that I feel like I truly need. Nothing is usually that dire. And if it is dire, then, you know, that's a different story. But majority of the time, put something on a wish list, wait for it for a week. Also, I'm going to be discussing purchases with my husband, especially as it pertains to the household. I don't normally consult him on things that I purchase. Like I don't feel the need to. In this case, it would be nice to have another voice, one who is more reluctant to spend money, to let me know if the purchase that I'm trying to make is something that's a want versus a need. So that's how I'm going to be handling anything else slash, miscellaneous items. And that is it. Those are all of the things that I'm not going to be buying in 2025. I think I really covered all my bases. I tried to really rack my brain about the things that I like to spend money on. Even in doing this exercise, I did have moments of feeling, I don't want to say disgusted with myself, but it was interesting reflecting on the amount of things that I spend money on. Just the amount of things that I'm tempted by in every freaking product category. Like, it's going to be an interesting year. It is for sure. And I'm excited to check in with you monthly on how this is going. spending. My goal and my aim really for this is to just change my behaviors, my appreciation, my contentment with life, save money for the things that really matter, like experiences and like meaningful changes in my home. And I really hope to do a lot of reflection in my monthly check-ins. That's kind of how I think that I'm going to be approaching this from an online perspective. It's not that I don't care about the financial aspects of the Snow Bike Challenge. I mean, that's obviously a huge component of it. Won't be touching a ton on this is how much I'm saving by doing this. That's not really the point. For me, it really is just about changing how I feel about my life and about my spending patterns. So if that interests you at all, feel free to subscribe down below if you're not already. I do all kinds of things here, and I'm planning on doing more things here in the new year. So thanks for watching. Hope you stick around. I love y'all so much, and I'll see you in the next one.